The story of Waterfront Station actually starts near Revelstoke, BC in 1885. The Canadian Pacific had just completed the biggest engineering project in the world, which was a coast-to-coast steel ribbon stretching from Quebec City to the Pacific in Vancouver. And 9 months later, the first passenger train would complete its first run to Port Moody on July 4th, 1886. And the reason being was Port Moody was the original port city, but only a few months later, in an attempt to make it easier for steamships to dock, the Canadian Pacific would stretch the line further west to Vancouver, and that would become the new western terminus. And the first station, it was modest. It was a 2-story red wooden structure perched over the waterfront, and it would serve passengers only for 12 years until 1899, when it would be replaced by the new Waterfront Station. And the Canadian Pacific would unveil it as a stunning chateau-style station with 2 massive turrets, one of which was rounded, one of which was not, and an arched entranceway made from limestone that came by train from Calgary. But it never saw its 15th birthday because the city's rapid growth demanded something bigger. And although the chateau castle-esque station would have really added a nice level of charm to Vancouver's skyline today, it was basically copy and pasted in Quebec City the year after, with Gare du Palais, which still stands today as Quebec City's train station, and I actually covered it in depth in my video on the Chateau Frontenac, as well as taking the train out of Quebec City to Toronto, which you can watch after this video. They would break ground on the new Waterfront Station in 1912, and the new station would drop the chateau-style design in favor of a much simpler style that they had used actually on Winnipeg's new station that had opened only 6 years earlier, but Vancouver's would be drastically bigger. And they actually didn't knock down the old station at first, they actually built beside it, but would demolish the old station later to make space for more passenger platforms for the increased traffic. The new station would feature a red brick facade with beautiful limestone trim on top, all dominated by a row of smooth columns lining West Cordova Street. And the interior itself would see more columns flanking the interior, along a beautiful marbled floor with beautiful chandeliers lining the ceiling, and something that may actually surprise locals today, they even had public bathrooms in the main hall. But my 2 favorite components are the 2 large clocks facing each other on the east and west wings of the main hall, as well as the multiple paintings depicting some of the most scenic landscapes that you would encounter along the Canadian Pacific main line, spanning from the Bow Falls in Banff, just outside of the Banff Springs Hotel, Castle Mountain, which sits between Banff and Lake Louise, to Mount Stephen and the Kicking Horse River along the Continental Divide in Field, BC. And come on, if you do not recognize this painting of Lake Louise, I think you need your Canadian citizenship revoked. And like the Newfies when they heard Quebec wanted to leave Canada back in the 90s, get them out of there.